In the Australian outback, a missile arcs through the sky, a first-ever launch rewriting the rules of modern warfare. The US and Australia are flexing firepower in the Indo-Pacific as tensions rise and new weapons take centre stage. The United States is expanding the battlefield role of one of its most relied-upon military assets, the High Mobility Artillery Rocket System, or HIMARS, this time with the Indo-Pacific in focus. Best known for its impact in Ukraine, where it proved decisive against Russian positions, HIMARS is now being upgraded and strategically repositioned to deter threats across the Pacific theatre. In a first-of-its-kind live-fire test held in northern Australia, US and Australian forces jointly launched the new Precision Strike Missile, or PrSM. The demonstration was part of Exercise Talisman Sabre 2025, Australia's largest ever multinational defence exercise. The PrSM, a next-generation long-range munition, marks a significant leap in firepower, capable of striking targets up to 310 miles away, a considerable increase from its predecessor, the ATACMS, which had a maximum range of 190 miles. This was the first time a US partner has fired the PrSM, which was launched from a HIMARS platform at the Mount Bundy training area in the Northern Territory. Australian forces simulated a strike on a stationary maritime target. According to the US Army Pacific, the missile landed within 3 feet of its intended impact point. Australia has ordered 42 HIMARS launches and is co-producing the PrSM with the United States under a Memorandum of Understanding signed earlier this year. The test marked the start of operational integration for a system that both countries believe will form a critical pillar of deterrence strategy in the region. US military leaders say modern warfare increasingly favours adaptable, fast-moving systems over traditional mass formations. Army Secretary Dan Driscoll, speaking to reporters after the launch, described how current battle environments reward agility and low visibility.
If you look at the way conflict is unfolding now, what is not being rewarded is large, massive presences with static locations and big footprints and signatures. What is being rewarded is the ability to be agile, hide your signature, and move quickly.
This thinking is embedded in the PrSM's evolving role. Future versions of the missile will be able to strike moving maritime targets, an essential capability if a conflict were to erupt in the Taiwan Strait or South China Sea. The missile's eventual range is also expected to exceed 620 miles, extending its operational reach deep into contested zones across the Pacific. Alex Miller, the US Army's Chief Technology Officer, underscored the importance of resilience to jamming and improved precision. Each HIMARS launch pod will soon be able to carry 2 PrSMs, compared to a single ATACMS missile. This doubles strike capacity while also enhancing survivability in hostile environments.
Each launch pod will be able to hold 2 PrSM missiles, compared with just 1 ATACMS. The ATACMS is also more susceptible to jamming.
Miller noted that the next iteration of PrSM will incorporate seeker technology to track ships at sea, bringing a new level of flexibility to US and allied strike forces. Alongside the missile's technical evolution, the US Army has been experimenting with forward deployment strategies. HIMARS units have been airlifted to remote forward locations such as Christmas Island, an Australian territory in the Indian Ocean roughly 900 miles west of the mainland. In July, one such system carried out a simulated launch from the island, highlighting the system's rapid deployment capability in remote or contested spaces. Military analysts say these moves are part of a broader shift by the Pentagon to counterbalance China's growing naval presence across the Indo-Pacific. While China has not formally responded to the latest PrSM launch, it has previously criticized US missile deployments and military exercises near its sphere of influence. Talisman Sabre 2025, which includes participation from Japan, Canada, and other allies, is seen as a direct message about Allied preparedness and coordination. With advanced systems like the PrSM now entering Allied inventories ahead of schedule, Washington and Canberra appear committed to delivering on that vision, not just in word, but in operational practice. Australia is not only acquiring next-gen US weapon systems, it's also building domestic capacity to deploy and eventually manufacture them. The country's Defence Department confirmed that the recent PrSM launch took place 2 years ahead of schedule and follows the early delivery of the first HIMARS units. The Australian Army plans to begin integrating these systems into its long-range strike capabilities immediately. Pat Conroy, Australia's Minister for Defence Industry, said the missile launch is a milestone in the government's push to enhance strike readiness.
Today's PrSM firing is another example of the Albanese government accelerating long-range strike capabilities for the ADF, alongside the firing of Standard Missile 6, the Tomahawk missile, and the Naval Strike missile last year.
The recent HIMARS deployment is part of what military officials call HIMARS rapid infiltration. The concept involves transporting launcher units via cargo aircraft to distant forward locations, launching precision fires, and then extracting the unit before detection or counterattack. Australian military leadership sees this as a cornerstone of littoral warfare, the ability to contest or control coastal environments through high-speed, high-impact deployments. Defence officials stress that the region's geography demands such flexibility. Christmas Island, for example, lies closer to Indonesia than to mainland Australia, making it a strategic outpost in the Indian Ocean. Beyond hardware, this deepening defence alignment reflects shared concern over China's assertive military behaviour in the region. Beijing has expanded naval patrols and conducted dual-carrier missions in the Western Pacific. Chinese vessels have also passed close to Australian territory, prompting warnings in Canberra about regional stability.